This is the 2019 Copa America group stage. Looks weird, right? And this is the one from 2021. Notice a pattern? Yep, this is not a mistake. Unless you skipped your geography class for years, you probably agree with me that neither Australia or Japan are in the Americas. And the reason they play these tournaments is due to a shortage of CONMEBOL nations to play a decent football tournament. So every time there is a Copa, we all people living in the Americas ask ourselves why the heck do we have two confederations in one continent? The answer hides a deeper truth. For starters, the fast answer is in the history books. I'll be fast, I promise. Back in 1816, Argentina organized a tournament with their neighbor nations, Brazil, Uruguay, and Chile, and it was a huge success. So the idea of joining forces and making tournaments every once in a while came pretty naturally. Years later, other nations like Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, Paraguay joined the CONMEBOL as well. At that time, up north, in the USA and Canada, people seemed to care more about baseball. Later, the CONCACAF would appear to join the North Americans and the Caribbeans to make their own confederation. So that's it. But that's too much of a simple answer. And if you look at this map, you can see how the different nations were joining CONMEBOL throughout the years. And it happens to line up with a growth in popularity of the sport in those places, as if football became popular from south to north. But then you get to the Colombians that joined the CONMEBOL in 1836. And the question that begs is, why did Panama or Costa Rica did not join CONMEBOL in the following years? I mean, even Venezuela joined, a nation famous for their interest in baseball. Something must have happened that stopped CONMEBOL's growth in the continent. Again, a boring answer: scales. Maps happen to distort reality to a point. You see Europe as big as Latin America, when actually the distance between the big cities in Colombia and Costa Rica or Panama are huge. It's just not like Belgium, the Netherlands, and France. There are huge gaps of grassland because the Americas are just much bigger. So yeah, it wasn't until the 60s when Mexicans began to push for a decent federation to play football with the Canadians, the Americans, and the Caribbeans. Naturally, they made their own cups independent from the biggest one in the continent, the Copa America. I'm talking the Gold Cup, which is like a copycat of the Euros and the Copa America, but it doesn't matter, it's good enough. The problem is that this left us South Americans without enough teams to make a competitive tournament internationally, globally, leaving us though with excellent moments like Japan versus Uruguay, a game in the Copa America. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. In recent years, the CONCACAF have sent some teams to play the Copa Libertadores, which is like Latin American Champions League. For example, Tigres, that ended second in 2015. In 2016, the USA hosted the Copa America Centenary. It was an attempt to prove they were capable of hosting the 2022 World Cup. At the end of the day, they lost this bid, but the cup was pretty decent. It had some issues though, like they played the wrong anthems at some games and stuff like that, but it was overall okay. In 2024, they hosted the Copa America once again, improving in some aspects, but having issues in others, especially during the final, where Colombian and Argentinian fans were trying to sneak into the stadium without a ticket, while other fans who had tickets could not enter the stadium because of them. There's a clear cultural gap in here. To me, this CONMEBOL CONCACAF situation seems to be destined to become a single thing. As long as the US, Canada, and Mexico push for a better soccer team, they will most likely want to join a bigger structure, and we will end up watching something pretty similar to the Nations League in Europe. In part because the CONMEBOL is so damn obsessed with copying the Europeans. Jesus Christ. So yeah, the final answer, it's a mix between ignorance from us, for at least me, that forgot that maps are kind of distorted, and that made me ask myself, why don't Panamanians like football if Colombians do? At least obviously when compared. And also the simple fact that football is just not for everyone. Not everyone must like football, of course. So that's it. Subscribe and join my Patreon. I don't know, I hope you enjoy.